up overload, legendary heavy glow, sunshine on the road, keeps it on. Yes, the lantern burn firm and easy, and broadcast so raw and easy. On the road, sunshine, work it out, 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 out.
Just to get through the week, sometimes it's hard. Right now.
Sing yourself out of depression, rise above all recession. If I know your heart, electric is the love.
There's only one way. Let it play a little while longer. It's got a way of passing through man and woman in another world, in the universe. Right now. Here's what we got to do. If it's love, then electric, it'll be flowing on the street. Night after night. Just to get through the week. Sometimes it's hard. That's what I'm talking about.
Love electricity, shockwave, central power on the motherboard, yes. Push up overload, legendary heavy glow, sunshine on the road, keeps it on. Yes, the lantern burn firm and easy, and broadcast so raw and easy. On the road, sunshine, work it out, 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 out.
Right now.
Hi, I'm Carl with Line to Line Coatings. There's some other videos on our website that explain how our coating is different from traditional skirt coatings. This video will teach you how to build your engine with APC on your piston skirts. Abradable powder coatings are actually fuzzy, so you can build the engine tighter than you normally would, but the fuzz is able to knock down quickly so it can match the shape of the piston to the bore. The fitting process actually starts with your order. You can find an order sheet on our website, which you should be on, that'll ask you some pretty simple questions, such as the clearance you currently have and the power level of your engine. That'll let us know how much coating to actually put on. If you're freshening up your engine and you have to clean up and hone a bore or two, let us know and we can make those pistons a little bit bigger than the others. If you have any questions, give us a call. We'll be glad to talk you through it and give you help in any way we can. Just make sure you put your order form in with your parts so we have all your information and data that we need to coat your parts. What we're going to do for you now is a bit of a fitting demo. Here we have a piston that we coated to a line-to-line fit, and here we have one that we coated a bit oversized. This one we coated to the line-to-line fit. And as you can see, it holds itself in the bore. However, you can push it through with just minimal effort, and when it's basically fingertip tight in either direction, it's ready to build. This one we coated a bit oversized, and as you can see, it doesn't fit in the bore. So this one needs Scotch-Brite. Now that you have it back out, you can see that you have shiny spots, and the witness marks show you that it's too tight there. So now you want to Scotch-Brite those. So now that we've Scotch-Brited this, you can see that it fits in the bore, and I can push it down with 2 fingers and move it the entire length of the stroke. For a tight build, they may not fall through under gravity. So after you've done this with every piston and each one moves through the entire stroke range, you're ready for your normal engine build. So you're going to wash everything with hot soap and water, and then assembly lube everything and put it together just like a normal engine build. Remember, you just built your engine pretty tight, so you need to give the pistons time to fit themselves into the bores. Make sure you watch the break-in video and follow the break-in instructions. They're also available on our website at www.line-to-line-coatings.com. The tighter you build it and the better you break it in, the more power you're going to make and the longer it's going to last. Thanks for watching.
After a battle at New Smyrna Beach, we head 8 miles north to Braselton, Georgia, a small town located just 58 miles outside of Atlanta, Georgia, where we will be roaring with the sounds of the Corvette Parts.net Super Late Model Tour as we roll into town. It's round 2 of the Corvette Parts.net Super Late Model Tour live at Lanier Speedway on PBR Broadcasting. Thank you for joining us here tonight at Lanier Speedway for round 2 of the Corvette Parts.net Super Late Model Tour. As always, I'm Stephen Parks, and joining the booth with me tonight is Mark Nadeau. How you doing, Mark?
Oh, I'm doing real good. Looking for a real exciting race tonight.
Yeah, Mark, last week we saw Stephen Burnett claim the first Weekly Racer Pole Award, but would only lead 30 of the 125-lap contest. Leading the most laps would be Connor Hall, who gave the field quite a show, leading 65 laps, but a late race black flag would end his night and his chance. Brendan Queen would jump at the chance to get a win, and it didn't come very easily as Colby Vance battled with him to the end. But Mark, let's take a look at tonight's track as they are still in the driver's meeting. Lanier Speedway is just a 4/10 mile long track. This track features variable banking from that allows for 3 distinct racing grooves, which can cause 3 to 4 wide racing action. Tonight's race will be 50 miles for 125 laps. And Mark, what's your thoughts on tonight's track?
Well, you know, I look at this track very much like I do Martinsville, only the difference is you got a little bit more groove to play with. It's going to create a lot of side-by-side racing. You better have a car that can hold that low groove, because you can get into the fenders of the guy on the outside. He's got to be aware of that as well if he's trying to make the pass on the outside. These corners are exactly the same. Real slippery coming off, so you better have your car set up ready to stick to that track.
Yeah, that inside line is going to be where the battle is going to be. Guys are going to be trying to fight for that inside leverage. But, I mean, really at a track like this, you don't have all that much banking in the corners. Those outside grooves, you can get the run off the corner with those.
Yeah, the outside groove plays a big part. If you happen to be alongside the guy you're trying to pass and you've got a good run on him coming off, if you got a good car set up, you're going to make that pass stick pretty well, as long as he doesn't pinch you into that wall coming off that turn.
All right, well, the rules for tonight, as always, no tire changes, no extra fuel is allowed in the Corvette Parts.net Super Late Model Tour. And they do have an eye on the sky. Travis Wall, you'll see him probably on the grid. He is not actually racing tonight. He is the race director, and they're telling him right now where the restart zone is. And if they jump that restart zone, they can get a black flag, just like we saw Connor Hall get last week.
Yeah, Connor Hall had a real good run going last week, and when he jumped that start, he ended up paying the price for it and ended up losing that lead and going a lap down. He had a really fast car, but Brendan Queen was right there to claim that victory when the mistake was made, and unfortunately, Connor Hall is going to come back today and try to make that up. He was fast on the track tonight with a 12.752 against Brendan Queen's 12.772, so it's a real tight battle there up front with those top two.
You know, Mark, this is a really similar track layout to what we saw last week at New Smyrna. It's not, it's not a big track for these cars, and they're gonna add a couple more cars out there tonight. There, I believe 18 are gonna be running at the start, and should definitely be a good race out there tonight. But speaking of last week, let's take a look at how the points have played out now. As Brendan Queen came away the winner last week, so he will take point on top of the points. In second will be Colby Vance, 3 points back, followed by Tim Knott, Craig Kenny, and Stephen Burnett in third. We did see Burnett take the pole, but he was unable to hold off the charge of Connor Hall at the time, and he burned up his tires pretty early in this race.
Yeah, tires are going to be really important at this track because of the type of track it is. Similar to Smyrna, but unlike Smyrna, I think because of the non-banking, it doesn't have a real good bank to it. It's going to play an important part to keep your tires and manage them pretty good.
And the unique thing about this track, and luckily these drivers don't have to deal with it, that pit road can be confusing to get on and get off of.
Yeah, it has a really odd exit and a really odd entrance because it's right at the corner off on both ones. You got corner in coming out of the pits on turn 1. You got corner off going into the pits on turn 4. If you're not paying attention, or if you happen to be on the outside and you need to pit for any reason, you're just not going to be able to get there.
Now, here's the question tonight. We saw, Connor Hall, the big story last week was Connor Hall getting that black flag after leading a lot of laps early on in the race. Do you think that's going to be weighing on his mind when he comes to a restart tonight?
I think he's going to be a little bit more careful. He's going to pay more attention to that start line where he's allowed to get on it. Hopefully he's always up front and can control that. If he isn't, that might play into his deal as well. I mean, when you have the other guy controlling the start, you don't have to worry about it as much. As long as he gets across that start-finish line first, you can go at it as hard as you need to. But again, I mean, it's very important to pay attention to that restart line, and if you get going before it, obviously you're going to pay the penalty on it. Like he did last week. He's got to pay real close mind to it. I think it's going to weigh on his mind a little bit more than it was. All
right, well, taking a look at the field tonight, who do you think's got a shot to maybe pull an upset?
Well, I mean, Tim Knott was real quick last week, as well as Colby Vance. They were right up there in the thick of things. They managed their tires well. When Connor Hall got that black flag and it was down to Brendan Queen and Colby Vance, it was a real tight battle right there. If I was going to call out somebody tonight, I think I would want to go with Colby Vance because he's got some retribution he wants to pay for because he didn't get that win from Brendan last week.
Talked to Burnett a little bit before this race tonight, and he talked about saving his tires and trying not to burn them up as much as he did last week. And he said he went out and did a ton of laps this week trying to get those tires under him and get into a kind of a groove where he's not going to have to worry about them burning up on him so quickly.
Yeah, he's got to pay mind to those tires, and I'm glad he's got a lot of laps laid down. I mean, it's good to get that practice time in. The important thing is just to make sure that you don't burn up the right front, because the right front's very important here at this track.
All right, and as these guys start qualifying, we'll step away for tonight's national anthem, followed by a word from the league sponsor.
Go ahead, David. Crank them up, guys.
And now, the most famous words in motorsports. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey, I'm NASCAR driver Matt DiBenedetto. As a Corvette owner and enthusiast, I know it's hard to find a place that has everything that I need. That's why I love Keen Parts, a retailer in Corvette parts and accessories. With thousands of items in inventory, they have parts from vintage to the latest models. If you can't find what you need on their extensive website, call and speak to one of their knowledgeable sales reps. I know every time I call, someone's there, ready to help me find exactly what I need. I know they'll do the same for you. Keen Parts, or Corvette parts, are all they do.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
All right, and we are back, and it looks like they have pretty much finished up qualifying here tonight. And right now, no surprise who's on top of the board. Connor Hall and Brendan Queen not very far behind him. We didn't see Sean Johnson last week. He is right now sitting in third, Colby Vance in fourth, and Stephen Burnett sitting in fifth. We're waiting for the timer to run up. But Mark, what's your thoughts about the top five right now?
Well, as usual, we got the three main players up there. I should say four main players. We got Stephen Burnett there in fifth, and then Colby Vance there in fourth. They just got to get by that Sean Johnson. Like you said, we didn't see him last week, so it's going to be interesting how that plays out with him up there in the top five. Brendan Queen, I think he's going to stay right with Connor Hall the best he can to try to maximize his time around this track and not let Connor Hall pull away like he did last week.
You know, I'm looking at the timing charts here. Stephen Burnett was the only one not to run a faster lap his second lap.
Yeah, he might have just been playing possum. You never know. I mean, if he's trying to play that tire management game, he may not be wanting to put down that fast lap yet because he doesn't want to let anybody know what he's got.
Definitely, and still waiting for that timer to run out. Justin Kern sitting on the track. There it is, as we will be getting ready to go to the grid. Brendan Queen, or no, Connor Hall will be it going to work for me? There we go. All right, let's take a look at tonight's starting grid. Starting on the pole will be Connor Hall in that 77. Brendan Queen, last week's winner, will start second. Starting on the second row will be Sean Johnson in third, Colby Vance in fourth. Stephen Burnett will start fifth tonight, followed by Brian Hacker in sixth. Tim Knott will start seventh tonight. Jesse Vaughn will start eighth. Sean Pierce starting ninth, and Justin Kern rounds out your top 10, Mark.
All right, and then the number 60, Brian Neff back there. He had ran himself a nice little 12.946. Then we got R.S. Center there in 11th, and Charlie Needham in 12th. Jesse Call in 01 will be in spot 13. Craig Kinney in 14th. Jeff Glockner in the number 24 and 15th, and Mickey Kern in the number 23 and 16th. Steve Music in number 9, and the double hot down there at the bottom that you might see on the list is Tour Official. He won't be running tonight, but he is in the lineup nonetheless.
Yeah, Travis Wall will be up in the sky, giving these guys black flags if they jump that start. And Connor Hall's got to watch himself tonight.
You just got to pay attention to that restart line. That's the most important part. And hopefully we can go caution-free and get this some good green flag racing and see how this tire management's going to play out, because there's nothing worse than having a caution come out and mess up your whole strategy.
Definitely. And, 125 laps on one set of tires is pretty difficult. But these guys are up for the challenge. And tell you what, it's not just about this week. It's about winning that championship. And everybody watching at home, make sure to subscribe to Parks Brothers Broadcasting, because next week we got the weeklyracer.com Winter Classic 125 at Southern National Motorsport Park. Another great race, another super short track for these guys to run around. I tell you what, by the time they get to January 15th, which is at Southern Boston, these guys are going to be ready for some straightaways.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
And
for some of them bigger tracks.
And just a correction there on the scheduling. Next week we will not be live. We will be celebrating Christmas. Following week we'll be celebrating the new year, 2018. We'll be back January 8th for the weeklyracer.com Winter Classic 125.
Yeah, and Merry Christmas to all the viewers out there. We hope you have a great holiday if we don't happen to catch you in between now and then.
All right, well, we're getting ready to go green flag racing. The pace car lights, or the pace car is dipping down. There is the green flag. We're off the race. A lot of bumping and banging going on at the start there.
One around on the front straightaway.
We are keeping it green. It looks like Brian Neff was the one that went around, as he took a good hit on that start. No caution, though, as Brendan Queen gets the first lap lead. He beats Connor Hall to the line.
Yeah, it looks like Jesse Call was kind of involved in that. He fell way back on that start.
And Jesse Call off the pace. He is sitting in 17th. Pretty much, I mean, this is closer action than we saw last week.
Yeah, it's a little bit tighter track, I think, than New Smyrna. Very similar tracks, but got a little bit tighter turn in the corners.
You know, the question is, we see it all the time in the Cup cars when they go to Bristol. Are we going to see that style race here tonight?
You know, it's hard to say with these cars when you get 125 laps in and you can't take no tires. And we got a lead change right now. Looks like Brendan Queen's going to take over that spot.
And it looks like, is he going to get in there? Yes, he will. The 44, Colby Vance, gets around Connor Hall.
I think Connor Hall might be thinking about last week when he ran that car so hard. He's going to try that tire management maybe this week.
Yeah, the two guys who sat back and ended up finishing 1 and 2, that's where they sit right now. And in third place now, Sean Johnson. And Connor Hall is stuck on that outside line as these guys just go all by him.
Yeah, it's a little tough on that high line up there, especially when you got the lower groove as a preferred line. But he's hanging right in there real good. See if he can fall in there somehow.
Yeah, right now he's got Stephen Burnett and Brian Hacker down there. Burnett's going to clear him. Hacker now down there with, it looks like Tim Knott is going to dip the bumper in there. Tim Knott's got a little bit of damage from that start. And do you think these guys are going to kind of try to bully around Connor Hall, as it looks like we almost went 3 wide there going into the corner?
Well, you know, if I was one of those drivers and remembering last week how he just kind of drove away from everybody, I definitely want to put him towards the back of the pack as best I can.
Yeah, he is slowly falling back, as we do have a battle for second still going on, as Colby Vance, actually no, Burnett has moved up into third now. He is starting to look for an opportunity to strike on these two guys running 1-2.
Yeah, we got a heavy battle up there up front. We got another car on the outside there. He just tapped the wall coming off the turn.
Trying to get the number. It looks like it's the 09 of Sean Pierce who was the one in the wall. So now you see Connor. Oh, we got one spinning around. 56. That is the 56 of Tim Knott. No cautions out. He's still rolling. Now the caution will come out. As the 90 of Craig Kenny also went around. Those guys both in the top 5 in points right now.
Now I want to mention one of the fastest cars last week has fallen all the way back to 9th place. Connor Hall. He got onto that outside groove, got pushed up out of that groove by Brendan Queen. And by doing so, allowing that to happen, he fell all the way back to 9th place.
All right, well, while we're under our first caution, let's take a look back to see what happened really quick. As there was a lot of action going on there. Go back to the 56 on his wreck. He just lost it off the corner. Then we go straight to the 90, who got a little bump there. Trying to get the number. Looks like it was the... I don't know if we can get the number on that. Was it the 66? Yes, it was the 66 who collected the 90 of Craig Kenny. That's Charlie Needham, who spun. You know, it's short track racing. You don't have very much time to react, and when it's time to go, it's time to go.
Yeah, your checkup time is limited because you're on the throttle just about all the way around this track. So if something happens going into the corner, it's real hard to get yourself low down enough to not get caught up in it.
And, you know, I got to start to wonder, the admins were talking way before the session even went up today about where to put that restart line here tonight. I'm starting to wonder, did they put it too late? And that's what caused that huge checkup and gave pretty much everybody in the middle of the pack damage.
Well, you know, I mean, it's not the leader's job to help you keep an eye on when the start is. You got to watch what's going on in front of you, keep your nose out that windshield, and pay attention to what the cars are doing. When the pace car goes off, that don't mean it's time to go. It's time to go when the leader decides it's time to go.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if the admins may have told them a start zone that's way later than when the green flag's pulled here. But the pace car is dipping off and the green flag is out. And we are live. The pace car wasn't even off the track yet before that green came out.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick green flag right there. We got
and 5 around. Stephen Burnett goes for a spin. Trying to find him here on our board.
Yeah, no yellow yet. Looks like
No,
it's going to stay green.
He got back on the track. He's got a little bit of front end damage. Not too bad, but he's still out there driving it around. Brendan Queen is your leader with Colby Vance in second, Brian Hacker in third, Sean Pierce fourth, and RS Center in fifth.
Looks like Connor Hall is going to try to get that inside line down there to take away 7th place, but he can't quite get it done.
Yeah, Connor Hall on the inside. He's going to give the 09 of Sean Johnson a little bit of a bump. Just gets around. Justin Kernan, there goes Sean Johnson. And there is the caution.
Boy, that's a saver for Stephen Burnett.
Yes, it is. These guys can go in and get that damage fixed, just can't take tires and can't take fuel. I tell you what, that restart was pretty intense. I have to see how it goes this time around, as the pace car wasn't even off the track and we're pulling the green flag. I don't know what was going on there with race control.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. I mean, like you said, the pace car barely turned down to go off the track. Wasn't even inside the wall yet before it said green flag. And I'm kind of wondering what Race Control is thinking there, because they have a certain spot on the track they're supposed to start at, and it seemed like they went a little bit before that.
And I gotta admit, I thought I may have been in replay when that came up. We saw the green flag come out, and nobody really moved, and the pace car was still moving off the track.
Yeah, quite interesting restart there.
And getting the wave around, Steven Music goes back on the lead lap.
Stephen Burnett, he moved up a few positions from that, so that was a lifesaver for him, with having those two cars spin out. The one that, he was one of the cars that spun, and then the other one that spun on the back straightaway there.
09 of Sean Johnson. I tell you what, man, I don't know if it's because of the style of racing we're seeing here, with not only a bigger field, but you're seeing the pack, really the whole field is more together at this track. But I think we're seeing a lot more of that little bump and spin them out or get them out of the way because you want to make a pass.
Well, it's old-fashioned short track racing, Saturday Night Live, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't like NASCAR where they got to make that car last 500 miles. They've only got 125 laps to get it done, and when you're talking about a championship, you're going to try to get it done as soon as you can.
Definitely, and these guys beat and bang on them, and then take it back to the shop, get it fixed, and bring it back out next week. Pace car getting ready to come down. We'll see when that green flag comes out this time, as pace car is not even off the track. Doesn't even go down until after the green flag, and that's going to give Brendan Queen a great jump on the restart there. Colby Vance tucks in right behind him, and it looks like the 21 of Sean Pierce is stuck on the outside with Brian Hacker on the inside, but he's making it work back there.
Now keep your eye on Connor Hall there. He's up to 5th place, or 6th place. He's not going to lay back this time. I think he's going to try to get back up there and try to put a battle for the lead.
We just saw our first pass on the outside. Hasn't exactly cleared yet. Sean Pierce, he is tucking that car down as low as he can and blocking the runoff that the 11 would get coming off the corner.
Yeah, I've noticed Connor Hall doing that too. He's been using that apron a little bit going down into the corner.
And looks like Brian Hacker is going to get the clear now on the 21, who's going to tuck it in behind him in front of the 10.
Side-by-side going there. We got one just barely going around. I don't know if he caught it or not. Caution is out.
Oh, we got 3 cars involved. Jeff Glockner, looks like the 9, the 50, the 56 of Tim Knotts in there. And Mickey Kern also involved in that. Looks like we do have 1 car blown up. That is Steven Music, who just got the wave around.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Let's take a look back with our 3rd caution now of the night. We'll see what happened here, what started this whole event. And take one more look back. It looked like it may have been Burnett going to the bottom, sliding up the track, making a little bit of contact with Jeff Glockner. Or it looks like they were just battling for the same real estate of track. Jeff Glockner goes around.
Yeah, it looks like that number, I think it's the number 24, is it? Or number 23? It's number 24, Jeff Glockner. He's actually crabbing that car around. There's something wrong with that rear end. It's been knocked out of place.
Yeah, and that's going to definitely end Jeff Glockner's night at least. Looks like Steve Music is still out there trying to get as much as he can out of that car. We're seeing smoke come out of the back of it, but he is not taking it to the pits.
Yeah, Jeff Glockner just took his off the track, so he's going to try to get that rear end resituated. Maybe if they have a good crew down there, they can get that thing righted around before the end of the race.
We weren't live. Steven Music has taken his car down to the pits. It looks like Jeff Glockner still crabbing along on pit road.
Yeah, it's an odd pit road. You can miss your pit stall so easily here.
Yeah, you can miss your pit stall, you can miss the exit, you can miss the entrance. Definitely makes for a tough track. Oh, a little bit of looks like a little bit of an internet issue from the 03 of Brendan Queen, as it looks like it cleared up pretty quickly for him. But I tell you what, first and second right now, we know these guys are teammates. Does that make it tougher to try to break them up?
I think it makes it tougher for the guys behind them to get past them, because they're going to play with each other to try to maintain those 2 spots. But at the same time, when it comes down to push comes to shove, I think the team orders are going to be put out the window, and whoever gets the win gets the win.
All right, and they get the pace car off the track before the green comes out. What a great jump by the front row, as this could be Brendan Queen losing his spot. No, he will clear the 44. But the 21 of Sean Pierce fighting still on that outside line for the second place, or third place. He will claim it and then get bumped out of the way by the 11. He is going to fall back in line, though, and does he get in there in the corner? A little bit of a bump, but he will take third place.
Boy, that's some good short track racing right there. Bump and go, bump and go.
And really, the whole top five have moved quite a lot of positions here, as we see one of our drivers in the top five, RS Center, I believe it's Center, or Center. He has gone from 12th to 5th, as we have another caution. Was this a big one? Because we have a lot of cars slow right now on the track. Tim Knott's slow out there. Looks like Charlie Needham is slow out there. Brian Neff catching the track.
Yeah, he's trying to get back to the back of the pack there.
Let's take a look back, see what happened here. It looks like Charlie may have... Yes, Charlie went for a spin, as they were 3 wide and turn 4, cleared it out. And it looks like Brian Neff just made a little bit of contact with him. And oh, Tim Knott right into his car, T-bones it, blows the motor. Tough break for Tim Knott, who fought so hard for that third place finish last week.
Yeah, he's on pit road and a lap down now, and that might put an end to his night having any chance of getting back up there in the top 5. But you know, this is short track racing, so nothing is impossible when it comes to short track racing. I've seen guys go a lap down and get their lap back, come back up and finish in the top 5. So it's not uncommon for it to happen. We'll just have to see how it plays out the rest of the night.
And the wave around will be Charlie Needham, who stays out to get the wave around. But I tell you what, the cambers on that car look a little bit out of shape. Or the toe. You see those wheels just not even really pointed in any direction whatsoever. And we are going to... No, we do not have the one to go. I thought we were going to get the one to go here, but it looks like they may have just given Charlie the wave around to get to the back of the pack before they got the one to go.
Yeah, that car looks a little on the banged up side. It looks like it's been put into a press on both sides and pressed the fenders in. His tires are way out of whack. There's no possible way he can get around that track safely and maintain a pace.
Yeah, Charlie was the one that got T-boned by Tim Knott on that last caution. All right, let's get back to green flag racing. There goes the pace car, and green flag is out once again. And we're seeing more and more Brendan Queen not getting the jump that he needs to clear Colby Vance on the starts. And now he will clear him and fall back into first.
I noticed Connor Hall, he's playing it real safe because he was on the outside there, and I saw him lift way early to get back in line on that lower groove.
I see smoke. Do we have another car wrecking on the track? Maybe it was just the camera picked up smoke somewhere. But looks like Brian Hacker right now stuck on that outside line as he battles with the 10 of RS Center.
Yeah, he's
Oh, and there goes the 21.
You know what? That was probably the best place he could be right there with that spin.
Sean Pierce. That was... We were good timing on that wreck as we flipped to it just as the wreck started to happen. Watching the 21 of Sean Pierce, and they went 3 wide for a moment. 10 of RS Center gives him a little bit of a bump. I don't know if the 21 of Sean Pierce knew he was down there, but that could have been a lot bigger of a wreck than it was. So great driving by the guys who avoided it.
Yeah, good call out to Brian Hacker because he was running that outside line, and that car spun up right in front of him, and he just turned it right to go around him.
So Sean Pearson is racing for Autism's car. Looks like he'll try to get some of that damage repaired. You know, he can't get the tires. He can't get the tires changed, which is tough. You go around and it's chewing a lot of your tires up.
Yeah, it's going to make it real tough for the rest of the race, making it very slick.
All right, so 54 laps into this race here tonight. Brendan Queen has now led 50. And, I mean, really, we didn't expect this race to go as it did last week. And I tell you what, it may look like the same kind of track, but it is not racing like the same kind of track.
No, it sure is. And just an update, Jeff Glockner has taken his car to the garage. He is done for the night.
All right, so we do now, according to our timing, we have 14 drivers on the track. Sean Pierce is sitting on pit road, and he's now bringing it back on the track, so make it 15.
Right, and we still got Steve Muzak. He's sitting on pit road as well.
Showing Tim Knott as well, sitting out there. Those guys haven't moved. I think they both had blown motors, so. All right. Pace car will be getting ready to dip down. As, once again, Brendan Queen comes to the line with his teammate now on the inside. It's been interesting. It's been interesting to see Brendan start these races on the outside line. There is the green flag. The 77 gives him a bump, gets loose on the start there.
Yeah, that's those old tires. They're already starting to get a little worn, so you got to be careful on them restarts. Don't spin them.
All right, I'm not so sure that Brendan didn't fall asleep there on that restart. As that was Connor Hall who made contact with him and losing it, but catching it, that was Brian Hacker.
Yeah, I had a feeling it wasn't going to take too long before Connor Hall got back up in that top 5 area to where he can start playing with these front runners. Like we remember, you know, Brendan Queen stole that win from him last week, so he's got a little redemption to make up.
And Burnett with a little bit of contact on the 11 of Brian Hacker. Looks like he will clear him and take over that 4th position. But right now in 3rd, Connor Hall has stormed back through the field.
Actually, for the way this race is going and it being a short track and no tire changes, it's actually a pretty good race. I mean, they're running real tight with each other. Connor's going to move up to the 2nd groove there, and looks like Burnett's going to jump down behind under him.
Yeah, and it looks like now Brian
Hacker might take it.
I was going to say Brian Hacker's now looking to take over that position, as we might see Connor Hall fall into the same trap he did earlier in this race.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if he might be either overdriving the corners going in or just not braking good enough going in. Might have a brake problem, but every time he does that, he gets running pretty good. Next thing you know, he starts slipping up in that groove.
And he does fall in front of Justin Kern, who's he's running a way better race than he did last week. Justin Kern running up in 6th.
Yeah, you got to give hats off to these guys. We got a caution on the track.
And it looks like Jesse Vaughn involved in it. Brian Neff also involved in it. We had another big one. Mickey Kern in that one. Looks like Sean Pierce. Not sure if he was involved. And I may be wrong here, but was Charlie Needham involved in that one again?
He was definitely in the vicinity.
And so was Steven Music. Let's take a look back here really quick. As it looks like it was the 28 of Jesse Vaughn. Into the wall he went. Tries falling back in line here. Side by side with the 90 of Craig Kinney. They're battling back and forth. May have gone a little bit too far here. Oh, and it was just a little bit of a tap from the 90 of Craig Kinney. Spins the 28 of Charlie Needham around the 23 and 60. So that was Mickey Kern and Brian Neff both involved in that. Those are the cars that were involved in that. They're still out there, though.
Yeah, I don't know if Sean Pierce was actually a lap down, but he was catching up to the back of the field, and I noticed he went by the pace car, so I don't know if he just got slow going there, being caught up and all that, or if he was actually trying to get a lap back.
Yeah, he is now back on the lead lap. He may have been the lucky dog, as it goes to the two to green pretty quick here.
Yes, it does. You know, you got to give hats off to these drivers. I mean, these cars are fun to drive, but they're also tough to drive on these short tracks because you could heat up the brakes very easily going into these corners, and when you get them that hot, your stopping power becomes limited, and the next thing you know, we start having a lot of bumping, bumper bumping going on.
You know, these are so similar to the way I like to compare them is if you run the Legends here and then try to run these here, it's like running a sprint car in the dirt to running a super late or a late model in the dirt. It's just so much of a difference. There goes the pace car, and we're back to green. And it's Brendan Queen. No, he does not get beat to the line, but Colby Vance is still fighting for that inside line. Burnett right behind him.
You know, I'm amazed at how well of a restart that Brendan gets on that outside, and he's able to maintain that lead. Caution is out again.
Oh, and it's a big one. And it's I think it's the same pack of cars we had earlier. Jesse Vaughn, Mickey Kern, and Charlie Needham all involved in that one. Take a look back now. We may have gone back to the first wreck. Oh, the 09 of Sean Johnson goes around. Really, there wasn't a whole lot of damage that time around.
Trying to figure out who's driving that pace car because I just saw it hit the wall inside the pits trying to come out.
Yeah, these guys are now catching up to the pace car, as we may have to check that pace car driver to see if he's been drinking tonight.
Yeah.
All right, well, lap 75 right now, and it has been a tough night for these guys to try to get around Brendan Queen after he took the lead. And I know these guys don't want to see, you know, a guy not only extend his lead and the points, but get two back-to-back to start the series.
Absolutely. And I want to say, you know, the weather out here tonight is partly cloudy, right? It's only 65 degrees, and the track temp's only 65 degrees. But here's where the play is. The 79 degrees in relative humidity. That's going to create a lot of moisture on that track. And that's when the cars start getting a lot slipperier than they normally would be, especially with 29 inches of in rising. So we got to be real careful of them tires out there. I mean, we get that oil on the track, and even the rubber buildup, the car's going to get a little slick with that high humidity.
Yeah, these guys do run realistic weather to the tracks, so with that high humidity, you almost got to wonder, you know, now that I think about it, I think parts of Georgia got snow, and that's why we're seeing the humidity that high right now. But the pace car lights are out as we get ready to go back green flag racing. There goes the pace car, and they're going to hold them this time. Green flag is out, and I don't think Colby Vance was expecting that.
I don't think anybody was expecting that. They got real tight getting into that first corner.
Everybody was so used to the pace car going off and green flag coming out. Didn't happen that time around.
No yellow flags. They're still going.
Looking to see who it was. Do we have an idea who it was?
I'm looking right now. I think it was...
Was it the two of Justin Kern?
I think it was Kern, yeah.
Because he went from near the front all the way back to 14th. As we go back up front. It's still been the Brendan Queen and Colby Vance show. These guys still working 1-2. Stephen Burnett in third. Connor Hall in fourth.
Yeah, he just got up underneath of Brian Hacker there to get that spot away from him.
Brian Hacker's done a nice job tonight. I don't believe we saw him last week, so he's been another one of those wild cards as he's getting a little bit loose coming off the corners now.
Yeah, he needs to be careful of that because the car's coming down behind him. It might give him a little bump, and if he's already loose, it ain't going to take much to spin him around. Stephen Burnett putting a nice show on tonight, staying right up there in that third spot, staying right with these two front runners.
Yeah, and even though Colby and Brendan are teammates, you kind of start to wonder, when does Colby want to get a shot at his win and possibly tie Brendan for the points championship?
I think at this time in the race, he's comfortable maintaining where he's at, just so he doesn't cause a problem for either himself or Brendan. But I think as the laps wind down, you're going to see him start to get a little impatient. We're 87 laps into this race, so it's not going to take much more.
All right, well, while we have a chance, let's go through the standings right now. Brendan Queen is your leader. Colby Vanson second. Burnett in third. Connor Hall fourth. Brian Hacker in fifth. Jesse Call sixth. R.S. Sinner in seventh. Jesse Vaughn in eighth. Craig Kinney now takes over eighth, so that'll move Jesse back to ninth. Sean Pierce in 10th. Brian Neff in 11th. Sean Johnson 12th. Justin Kern 13th. Mickey Kern 14th. Charlie Needham in 15th. He is 9 laps down. And Steven Music 36 laps down. He is right now showing 16th. Tim Knott still in the pits. Jeff Glockner has retired in 17th.
Yeah, let's give a call out to a guy here who happens to be in the 11th spot here now. If we remember last week, the same driver finished 11th, and he had some miserable problems last week at New Smyrna. He's been spun around a couple times tonight, and he's already worked his way back up into that 11th spot. Let's see if he can hold on to it tonight. That would be Brian Neff.
All I got to say about Brian is, you want to know how hard he's worked? Look at the top of his car. He doesn't have a number up there anymore.
He's got that won't give up attitude, and I like that in a driver. Already started to hit some of these back markers, it looks like.
And we'll see if that does change things up. These guys don't have to get out of the way. According to those league rule books, if you're 1 lap down or getting ready to go a lap down, you don't have to fight to get. You don't have to get out of the way of these leaders. You can fight to get that lap back or stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's really a gentleman's call, and I think that fits right into the iRacing sporting code as well. You don't have to give it up, but as a gentleman, you can if you want to. You can fight for that position and keep it if you want to avoid going another lap down, or if you're not a lap down, to avoid going a lap down at all.
Burnett starting to fall back. He's got Connor Hall now on his back bumper as he now fights to get around the 66 of, that is Charlie Needham. Sean Johnson has retired.
I'm going to tell you what, I think Colby Vance might be getting just a little bit impatient. I've noticed him riding right on that bumper of Brendan, just trying to get a little air off him to see if he can get loose.
And we have the caution out.
Right now with the caution.
I'm not sure where it was at just yet. Let's see if maybe iRacing picked it up for us with the 8th caution of the night.
I don't see any cars around.
Oh, and that is going to be looked at by the race officials. I'm not sure if the race admins are going to be too kind here, because you just had a lap car take out a strong driver there tonight. As the 66 of Charlie Needham comes off the corner, he's up high, hits the wall. I didn't see he hit the wall the first time. Now that I see that, I wouldn't blame it on him, but taps the wall, goes right down into Connor Hall.
And that puts Connor Hall back into 7th place. I'm going to take a look at his car right here, see if maybe he's got some pretty darn good damage on the front of that car. That may once again hurt his Knights tonight for a win. He's banged in on the right front fender. His nose is crushed in. Tire's not looking all that good. It's not crooked, not pushing out like it was on Muzak's car. But I'll tell you what, that's definitely gonna play into the fact of whether he can finish up front at all.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a tough break for Connor, who battled back up to 4th, and he was right on the back bumper, really, of Stephen Burnett when that came out. And as we see Connor Hall getting close to the 66 of Charlie Needham now. Let's see, does anything happen here? Any drama unfold? No, it does not. They're going to go by each other. No drama there. As pace car lights are out. And look at this. Brendan Queen elects to take that bottom line for the first time here tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking through the field here, and we got a lot of cars.
Green flag is out. Another quick green flag. As Burnett doesn't really get the jump he needs, but he is going to get under. Oh, and the 11's around.
Oh, we got 11 around. Yeah, we got a couple cars involved, and that looks like 3 cars.
As we'll take a look here to see what happened. As that was really a crazy start there. And it all started with the 11 of Brian Hacker. As honestly, it doesn't look like too many involved in that. Brian Hacker may have taken the brunt of the damage, but he's still out there rolling around.
Yeah, his car's pretty beat up on the front end of that car. You know, I've been looking through the field here, and I can't find maybe but 2 cars, 3 cars that don't have any damage. I mean, the rest of these cars are well beat up.
All right, well, we'll only have a second. Let's step away real quick for word from our sponsor, KeenParts.com. We'll be back right after this. Get back to the green flag racing.
Hey, I'm NASCAR driver Matt DiBenedetto. As a Corvette owner and enthusiast, I know it's hard to find a place that has everything that I need. That's why I love Keen Parts, a retailer in Corvette parts and accessories. With thousands of items in inventory, they have parts from vintage to the latest models. If you can't find what you need on their extensive website, call and speak to one of their knowledgeable sales reps. I know every time I call, someone's there, ready to help me find exactly what I need. I know they'll do the same for you. Keen Parts, or Corvette parts, are all they do.
All right, and we are back. Still waiting for that the pace car lights to go out. As we're now on 18 to go. And Brendan Queen's still up front, but Colby Vance gave him a battle there. And Burnett now, starting behind him, has kind of changed things up because this might break up the team.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. I was watching Brendan Queen's car. He's got a little bit of fender damage there, and the only car I don't see up front that doesn't have any damage is that Colby Vance car. So I'm wondering if he might just give him a run for the money here. He's just been kind of biding his time.
And I don't know if you saw this back up in 4th, Connor Hall. There goes the pace car, and green flag is out once again here tonight.
Oh, we got 2 getting loose there. It's going to cause another caution.
Yes, it does, and I tell you what, we're beating and banging here at the end of this race. That was a big one, though. As the 10 of RS Center, he takes a tow to the pits. Let's take a look and see what happened. As it looks like it may have started. There we go. The 10 into the 01. The 23 of Mickey Kern gets involved. The 66 of Charlie Needham gets involved. There was a lot of beating and banging there. And, you know, we have seen that 23 of Charlie. Oh, he does have a blown motor. I was about to say, we have seen him in almost every caution here tonight. And he's only 1 lap down, but looks like his night will be over.
Yeah, that's too bad for him. He was running pretty good there, even though he was 1 lap down. And I'm sure Colby Vance wasn't happy about that because he was running pretty good on that outside before that caution came out. And it was just as they were going into turn 1. I think he might have been thinking about getting a run on Brendan Queen to try to take over that lead because we're running out of laps here.
Yeah, definitely. And this is our 10th caution of the night. And we're getting down on the number of cars out there. We have 11 cars. No, we have 12 cars running, as only lap cars out there running is Charlie Needham, who he is definitely taking a lot of damage here tonight. He's 10 laps down in 14th. And Steven Music back on the track, 35 laps down.
Another man with a don't give up attitude. His car is pretty banged up, but you know what? If he can bring it home with a finish and move forward a little bit, that would be good. But 35 laps down, the guy in front of him is only 21 laps down. I don't think he's going to have time to get that, but we'll see how it plays out. We're at lap 79 right now, right?
We have 11 to go right now.
11 to go.
So we've done 114 laps. We're on lap 115. When we get the green, we'll be 10 to go as they're bunching up right now. See them all revving, getting ready to go. Pace car getting ready to dip off. There goes the pace car. And they hold the green flag this time. There it goes. And Colby Vance gets a jump on the outside. He is going to steal a lap lead from Brendan Queen.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get a jump to start on that one. That should have been the black flag the way I was looking at it, because I don't believe that Brendan had the green yet.
That is really a battle for the top four.
Another one around as we go into turn 3.
All right. Oh, Charlie Needham again. Take a look back to see what happened this time. Oh, and Brian Neff went for a spin too. Brian Neff spins around, gets bumped around. I'm not sure what happened to Charlie, but he ended up almost on pit road. Brian Neff's still
Brian
rolling.
Neff gets spun around there. Yeah, he's still going around. That car's, let's look better, I'll tell you what.
All right, so this is caution number 11, and next caution will end it. But Brendan Queen definitely had the battle on his hands on that start as Colby Vance gets the lap lead on the restart, but unable to hold off his charge on that inside line. And you know, another interesting battle right now you got to watch is the 5 and the 77, Stephen Burnett and Connor Hall. Those guys have taken some good damage here tonight, and they're sitting 3 and 4.
Yes, they have. Their cars are pretty banged up, but you know, when it comes down to championship points, you don't mind putting a few more dings in it to gain a spot for that championship playoff.
Yeah, and with Tim Knott going out tonight, and the other one was, I'm trying to remember who was
Jeff
on that
Faulkner?
list. No,
Don Johnson, Steve Muzak.
well, anyways, Tim Knott had finished 3rd last week, and it looks like he will take 17th this week. And Burnett finished 5th, and now he's in 3rd, so he should have enough points to at least move up 1 spot, maybe 2.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how it plays out here. I think Colby really needs to put a hard charger on here and not give up. I know he doesn't want to take out his teammate, but if he's going to want a chance for a win, he's going to have to play it a little rough this time around.
Yeah, he's trying to get the tires warmed up there a little. Pace car getting ready to dip off. There goes the pace car. We're holding it again. Green flag is out. And it doesn't look like Colby got it this time. He was a little bit slow to the throttle. Burnett looking to that inside. He's not going to quite get there.
Oh, and Burnett's going to pinch out at Colby. He's trying to see if he can't steal away that second spot.
Oh, and there he goes.
Colby Vance around.
And Burnett, oh.
Oh, into the wall. There's 2 other cars involved in that. That's the end of the race. Congratulations to Brendan Queen. Too bad for Colby Vance.
Yeah, that was a tough break for Burnett, who had battled for a while up front and doesn't exactly keep the car in line when the car came around. And there's your winner here tonight, as Brendan Queen wins his 2nd in a row here in the Eastern Super Series, the CorvetteParts.com Super Late Model Tour. And
I'm going to tell you who benefited on that little mistake with those 2 cars, and that would be Connor Hall. He ended up with that 2nd spot there.
yeah, definitely. And we are now having issues with the overlay. We will take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get the interviews in as these guys, as we watch Brendan Queen burn it down for his 2nd win of the season.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
All right, and we are back, and let's get straight into the interviews tonight. We do have Brennan Queen in here with us tonight. Second win in a row. How does it feel?
It's a great feeling. You know, you never know when your last win's going to be. So to go back to back, especially with the competition we got in here, is pretty good. And I'm just happy it worked out for us tonight. And this week was a little different. We got to really set the pace tonight. So we actually led more laps tonight than last week.
Now, the big difference from this week compared to last week, you know, it's sort of the same style track, but we saw a lot more pack action tonight, which led to a lot more cautions, but it also led to a lot of cars that were beat up, that were battling with you. Take us through kind of the difference from this week as compared to last week.
Yeah, last week the track's a lot bigger than here, longer straightaways, and everybody just kind of got singled out there, and we rode about fourth last week, and tonight it's such a short track, and once I got to the lead, I really rode. Wasn't even hitting full throttle, and I think that kind of kept the pack stacked up. And I don't know whether they were running hard or trying to stay with me, and or didn't want to pass me and burn their stuff up. So you never know what everybody's strategies were. But I know for us, our strategy was to just take what the race was playing out and manage our right rear the whole night. And it just turned out that we were leading the race, and I really rode really slow in the lead, and they allowed me to lead the race at that slow pace. So I guess that's why they got bunched up.
Well,
All
Brendan,
right.
I know you had some help back there with your teammate, with Colby. Did you have any worries that he was going to try to make a move on you in those last few laps?
Oh yeah, it was go time. First part of the race, I kept taking the top on the restarts, and the top was really good here. You could just stay wound up, and he was cutting me some room on the restarts there, and just because he was riding too, and he really didn't want to be out front and burn his stuff up. And we had talked about it that once it got down to lap 80 or so, it was go time. So I went back to the bottom, and he gave me a couple shots, so it's not like he let me just go. But it worked out for us there, and I hated to see between him and Steven there. That's a tough deal, and everybody just racing for that spot and trying to win this thing. And but he showed once again that we were fast as teammates again for the second week in a row.
Well, congratulations on that second win there.
Thank you. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank y'all for everything y'all do up here in the booth.
Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Oh yeah, just definitely y'all for broadcasting, and Stephen Burnett hooked me up with my my real paint job tonight. So that's the real paint job I run on my late model, and looks really good. Thank all my sponsors on my car there, and just happy to be able to do what I love and race on and off the simulator, real life in here, and thank the man above.
Well, congrats on your second win in a row, and congrats on hold on to that points championship for one more week.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
You
I
too.
do too.
All right, we'll move on to second place who was Connor Hall, who battled through a lot. Mark, do you have Connor?
Yeah, Connor, how you doing tonight, man? Boy, it was pretty rough out there for you, buddy.
Yeah, doing pretty good. Yeah, it was definitely a rough one.
Yeah, it looked like you had some battles going on there. It looked like you just lost the grip of the car early in the race there and moved up to the second groove and got pushed out. Fell back as far as seventh place. You managed to work your way back up. What are your thoughts on all this? I mean, with that accident that happened, that put you into second place, so it's going to help you out in the points for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we were the fastest car, set on the pole, and I don't know. I just wanted to really kind of slow the pace down and really save some tire, just because the gear that they have in the fixed setup was just wanting to spin the tires really bad, and kind of got pushed up in the second groove and didn't want to burn my stuff up. So I just kind of fell around. I settled in at ninth, and then kind of just started picking them back off like as the race went on. And then we were back up to third, I believe, and I believe Charlie Needham bounced off the wall, and then I recovered it around seventh or something again, and then I had to fight back through the field. And I don't know, I definitely feel like we had the best tires at the end of the race, but those late race cautions just counted down laps that weren't green, obviously, and that's what killed me at the end of the night.
Yeah, it's real tough to try to make your way back up to the field with evenly matched cars, and especially when they're beat up a little bit and you've already got the tires heated up, the brakes are a little worn out. You're doing your best to hang on to the car and not get yourself caught up in an incident. Congratulations on a second place finish. I know it's not what you wanted tonight. You were looking good up there in front. You definitely had a car to beat. It's too bad you couldn't get back up there and run for it.
Yeah, like I said, I just think the cautions got us. We definitely managed our tires well, but I don't know what race is next week, but maybe it'll pay out a little different. Maybe it'll be a bigger track, so I don't have to save as much. But overall, good showing for the Charles Barker Toyota Town Bank Camry. And thank you to Corvette Parts for giving us a series to run always. We really appreciate it, and I guess see y'all next week.
We'll actually see you in 3 weeks, as next week you guys are off for Christmas, and then you're off for New Year's, and then we'll see you guys out at Southern National.
10-4 sounds good.
Well, Merry Christmas to you again, Connor.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you and your family.
All right, and we'll move on to third place now. Sean Pierce, who I believe he did finish third. We'll get a word in with him really quick. Sean Pierce, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
I'll tell you what, man, that wreck at the end really helped you out a lot, as we saw you kind of all over the place tonight. Walk us through your race here tonight.
The biggest thing is we weren't the quickest car, so I knew if we just kind of bided our time, try to come home with a top five, we'd have a good night.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought you were done for at one point tonight. We saw you taking it on pit road. I wasn't sure if you were going to bring it back out, but I tell you what, you are by far one of the most beat up cars. And look at this, you're in third place at the end here. So congrats to you on that. What's your outlook on the season so far?
It's a pretty good season. We got caught up a little bit last week. We were up in the top five. We got squeezed up into the wall late. Ended up, I think, eighth. This week, we started at mid-pack. I was working my way up to the top five, and we get spun on a restart. That's where we get all the damage. But, still come back, finish third. That's pretty good.
Yeah, congrats on your third once again here tonight. You guys take a 2-week hiatus, and then you come back and you go to Southern National. Do you have anything for these guys when you come back?
We hope so. Southern National's it's a bigger track, pretty quick. Say last week we were quick on that bigger racetrack, so hopefully we'll have something for them. Those guys, it's tough competition here. Everybody's got even cars. We got some pretty good drivers, so it's hard. All right. Well, anybody like to give a shout out to tonight? This is the paint scheme that you guys see tonight is actually on my real super late model that I run up in Nova Scotia, Canada. And just thank my sponsors, Entice Motorsports, Nash Track Motorsports, Collins Water Treatment, Center for Speed, Pleasantville Signs.
All right. Well, congrats on your third place finish here tonight. And we hope to talk to you not next week, but when you guys come back. at Southern National.
Thank you guys, and hey, everybody, keep an eye that's racing for autism. We got there on the hood, and those handprints are actually on my real race car too. It's a bunch of the autistic kids in our community put the handprints on my car.
Yeah, we did see that during the race, and we gave that a shout out.
Yeah, we definitely want to give a shout out to those kids. They are special beings, and we need to recognize them and definitely make awareness to the public about autism.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing we've been doing with our real car. Like I say, we went to a car show, and I had the autism ribbon on it, and we had a bunch of the autistic kids come and had some toll paint. They painted their hands, and that's where those handprints came from.
Very good. You have a Merry Christmas, and hopefully we'll see you in the real world. Might be able to catch you on YouTube or something. We wouldn't mind seeing some of your races.
All right, guys. If you look up Maritime Pro Stock Tour, we do have some race time radio stuff through the summer. But yeah, catch me on Facebook too. I always post pictures of the car and how we're doing with our rebuilds or whatever. But you guys have a Merry Christmas too.
All right, we thank you for joining us.
All right, and tell you what, Mark, it was a pretty good race out there tonight. A lot of beating and banging, but this is idealistic short track racing.
It's Saturday night short track racing. It doesn't get any better than that, and that's where the roots of racing comes from. All the big name drivers started there, and they cut their teeth there. So it's always good to come to these tracks and watch these guys put on a battle every week in and week out with their cars, and see if they can't come home with a win.
All right, well, let's take a look at tonight's results, and we'll see where everybody finished. Of course, coming away with the win was Brennan Queen, who goes back-to-back. Connor Hall will finish second, Sean Pearson third, Justin Kern fourth, Craig Kinney will round out your top five. Brian Hacker in sixth, Jesse Call seventh, Brian Neff finishes eighth, Colby Vance in ninth, and Jesse Vaughn will finish 10th. Stephen Burnett will finish 11th, Charlie Needham will finish 12th tonight, Mickey Kern will finish 13th, R.S. Senator will finish 14th, Sean Johnson will finish 15th, Steven Music finishes 16th, Tim Knott 17th, and Jeff Glockner rounds out the field, finishing 18th tonight. So, like we said, great race tonight, and we will not be back next week, or the following week. We'll be back January 8th at Southern National Motor Park, as these guys will get back to the short track racing and the super late models for the CorvetteParts.net Super Late Model Tour, and you can catch that all here on Parts Brothers Broadcasting. I'd like to thank you, Mark, for coming up in the booth with me tonight. Definitely makes things a lot easier on me.
Oh, it's always fun to come up here. I enjoy racing. I enjoy spending time with you and being able to call a race with you. It's definitely an exciting time.
All right, guys. So with that, I'd like to thank Corvette Parts and Line to Line Coatings that sponsored tonight's race and sponsors, obviously, the series here and the Eastern Super Series. And with that, everybody have a great night. Everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Love electricity, shockwave, central power on the motherboard, yes. Push up, overload, legendary, heavy glow, sunshine.
Old style, go for blossom in your soul. When you know your heart is light, electric is the love. When the Mako flies up from the bottom in your eyes, then I know the twilight sky, not so broken heart.
If it's love, it's electric. It'll be flowing on the street, night after night, just to get through the week. Sometimes it's hard. Right now.
Sing yourself out of depression, rise above all recession. If I know your heart, electric is the love.
There's only one way that it rain a little while longer. It's got a way of passing through man and woman in another world, in another world, in the universe. Right now. Here's what we got to do. If it's love, it's electric. It'll be flowing on the street, night after night, just to get through the week. Sometimes it's hard. That's what I'm talking about.
Love electricity, shockwave central, power on the motherboard, yes. Push up, overload,